Life is long, and you have plenty of time. I turned 32 like 2 weeks ago, October 5th. And I was just reflecting on the last 6, 7 years, seeing how all the steps I've made, the actions I've taken, how they've led me here. And for the most part, I'm happy with how everything has turned out. Really proud of the work that's come through me and the resilience and the effort. You know, life isn't always easy. And it just made me realize I have more time than I think I do. I know we're so used to hearing the phrase, life is short, life is short. And in many ways, life is short, right? It's in a blink of an eye we realize that the years pass by, or realize, oh wow, I graduated high school and it didn't seem that long ago. I graduated college, it didn't seem that long ago. It feels like life is short. But often I find that the phrase, it can make it feel like we don't have enough time to do things we never thought we'd do or never thought we could do. It makes it feel like we don't have enough time to learn a new skill or try something different or make a change in our life. You think, oh, I'm in my 30s. Oh, it's too late. I'm in my 40s. It's too late. 50s, 60s, 70s. It's too late. It's never too late. So I find that when I remind myself that life is long, you have enough time, it helps me relax. And a part of these reflections and just realization of time and space and presence and being here and honoring the moment and what comes through, I've created another newsletter. And this newsletter is in Spanish. This newsletter is my way of practicing Spanish as well as sharing these teachings to those who connect better in Spanish. Most of my experience with Spanish has been in grade school and college and study abroad, and I live in South Florida, so I hear it all the time, quite often, and so I'm just like, why not take this opportunity to not just learn a language, but to bring it into what I love to do? Because I've always had a vision. I've always envisioned myself sharing these messages, sharing these teachings, pointing towards presence and non-duality in more than one language. So if you or anyone you know connects better in Spanish, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter, El Emprendedor Iluminado. That's the enlightened entrepreneur, but in Spanish. A little tweaking. Life is long. You have plenty of time. You have plenty of time to reach whatever goal you made for yourself. You have plenty of time to be here. Noticing the small moments. See, often when we're in a rush, we don't take enough time to pause and honor the small moments. We say we want to, but then we don't. But when you have reminders like this to remind you that you have plenty of time, that you don't need to rush, you begin to tune into the sanctity of presence, a deeper awareness that you're not separate from the flow of life. That you don't always need to plan ahead. You don't always need to know what's next. Not everything that arises needs to match the logic that comes to your mind. There will be moments where you'll feel led, maybe by a particular impulse or an action that just feeds you, fulfills you. And logically, it may not make sense, but you do it anyway. And you start to see how the unfolding of your life, it comes together. I feel so drawn to pointing toward presence, non-duality, the awareness that we are not separate from the flow of life, because it welcomes peace. You know, those moments where you find yourself exhausted from this need to fix yourself, this need to constantly find a solution, this need to constantly better yourself and get better, and it just feels like that cycle never ends. For me, I find that the awareness of presence, of non-duality, it soothes that. It gently brings us out of that story and allows us to flow without the overthinking, allows us to be without the constant analyzing, the constant seeking and searching. It allows us to see that we don't just have a life, we are life. You don't just have a life, you are life. As always, I speak slow on purpose. I leave the gaps of space on purpose. You may not realize it, but being here, resting in these gaps of space, it's a part of what allows us to face those seasons of uncertainty in our life. Those seasons when we think we haven't done enough. We haven't reached our goal fast enough. We haven't progressed as soon enough. But you'll see that even in those moments where you choose to just rest in the gaps of space, whether it's through listening to messages like this, or noticing the thoughts and those gaps of space between thoughts that flow within your mind. Believe it or not, it's those moments that allow us to see uncertainty differently. Hey, I didn't name this podcast See More with Morcie for no reason. When there's too much searching, too much trying to solve, too much trying to analyze and figure out what's next, it's like a cloud that fogs up our awareness. You don't have to be more aware. In a way, it has more to do with letting go. Letting go of that control in the moment. And you'll find that You're seeing more naturally. You find that you're resting more naturally. You'll find that silence isn't awkward. It just is. You'll find yourself spiritually fulfilled. And what I mean by spiritually fulfilled is no longer, or you will less and less be looking for something outside of this moment to fulfill you, to fill up your cup. After you found yourself exhausted from searching, seeking, trying to manifest the perfect life, after you found yourself exhausted by that and you surrender, you'll realize that everything you are looking for is arising right now. It's here in this moment. Not many people will know what I mean by this. Not many will understand this. It's messages like these that reach those who are ready to hear it. To reach those who are tuned into this frequency. In a space of being ready to release attachment, to observe thoughts, observe the mind, who are ready to discover a new type of liberation, of freedom. Life is flowing through you with every step you take, every word you say. You don't have to plan so much ahead. You can enjoy this moment. Life is long. It's long. You have plenty of time. You don't have to dread the next day. You can discover a space to put your energy. Yeah. I told myself I'd like to learn Spanish. I'd like to learn French. And I'm going to take my time. I have a rough idea of things I'd like to accomplish around a certain time, but it's nothing set in stone. I'd like to enjoy the process of learning. Be here in this very moment right now. Who I am, as I am, at the stage that I am, be here fully. Because I will always be here. You will always be here. When tomorrow comes, you will be here. When next month comes, you will be here. When next year comes, you will be here. You'll find yourself feeling fulfillment spiritually as you begin to shift your awareness of now, your relationship with here. You see how life is feeding you what you need in different ways, in different seasons, even when it's rough, even when it's tough, even when it's sad and it's depressing. when it's exciting and invigorating. Your openness and your willingness to move with the flow of life, to feel. That's when you start to feel fulfilled. And maybe you have felt that. Maybe you felt it even in a glimpse. I'm sure what I'm saying for you isn't completely new. I'm speaking to a part of you that already knows. And that's why you're still here.